What's up, zoners? Do you want free tiers and rankings from a fantasy analyst that you don't even know? Well, hey, if you do, hold on for 7.5 seconds.
You can do it!
What's up, zoners? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Banjo, the dog, coming at you live from my garage. And this is the Fantasy RZ. Today's episode. So you heard it in the intro. I'm going to go over each position and give you my personal tiers and rankings. This is going to be a real quick overview. If you want a more detailed analysis, please go back to our ranking videos. They came out like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I'm going to share my Excel file with you right now. Let's start the Big Turd tiers off with running backs. So Christian McCaffrey, number 1. Austin Eckler, number 2. That is a tier of themselves. Going into number 3, Derrick Henry. 4, Bijan Robinson. 5, Nick Chubb. Hey, 7, Josh Jacobs. Apparently he's supposed to come back. If he does, I like him right after Chubb. And that is the end of a tier for me. And just because Barkley's offensive line is like the worst thing ever, and their schedule gets even worse this year, so that's why I have Barkley in a tier below, probably where he should be. It's more the offensive line more than anything. And then Najee Harris, you know how I feel about Najee Harris? I think that he has a higher floor than both Pollard and Gibbs. But if I am drafting, I'm probably taking Gibbs over the two of them just because I like the upside and the offensive line again. And Pollard's coming off a broken leg, dude. I wish I could see him in action coming off a broken leg. Otherwise, I would take him over Gibbs. But still, you can't go wrong with this. These are all in the same tier. And Dalvin Cook coming to the Jets, I have him in this tier as well. Their offensive line is god-awful, but I can just see him, like, you know, I'm a Vikings fan. I know how he does with screens and such. Jonathan Taylor-Thomas, dude. So we got Jonathan Taylor, number 12, and I put him down here because of the mystery of the ankle. It just got released that he got granted permission for a trade, so his value will depend. He could screw somebody up here ahead of him, you know, or below him, or he can rock it up to like another tier, probably, you know, in the Jacobs tier, depending on where he goes. If he goes to Miami, dude, I am definitely probably putting him up there with Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb. And here we go, Kenneth Walker. He has fallen out of the grace of all the fantasy community, dude. You can get him so late in rounds right now. I would have literally had him one of my league winners, but he was still injured with the groin, and I just didn't want to put, you know, an injured player on my league winner list. Otherwise, he would have been there. And then I have him above Ramondre Stevenson, and, you know, they just got Ezekiel Elliott. I do think that I am still targeting Ramondre Stevenson because I have a feeling that he's going to be dropping in drafts. Joe Mixon, who I do not want any piece of, but I've got to put him up here. J.K. Dobbins is the end of a tier for me. I'd much rather have J.K. Dobbins over Joe Mixon, but I have to put Joe Mixon in there just because of Joe Burrow, dude, pretty much. And he's not going to be competing with a bunch of rushing touchdowns with Lamar Jackson, like. And dude, they have like so many running backs on the Ravens. It's kind of crazy. ETN, I'm lower on ETN than most, but still, he looks pretty good. I like Tanks Bigsby. I'm just not 100% convinced that I want ETN as my number 1 running back. So if he's my number 2, I'm probably okay. Kamara coming back off of that suspension that he might have faced. I think he is suspended. Whatever, dude. Kamara. Hey, Jones, I don't think the Green Bay Packers are going to be as bad as I thought they were going to be. So there you go. Aaron Jones is up here. Miles Sanders, I want to put so much higher. I want to put him over ETN because I just love everything about it. But, dude, everything from the preseason's telling me that Bryce Young and that offensive line, dude, is not as good as I thought they were going to be. So it's pretty scary. And then we have Breece Hall. I've got to put him up here because, you know, I do not like how he said he's still experiencing knee soreness. And he doesn't know whether he can make a cut or not. And like that scares the hell out of me. I'm probably not going to get him unless he falls to me. Dameon Pierce, had him last year, but dude, Dameon Pierce with an inept quarterback is god awful. If they put Davis Mills in there, I'm actually might be into that Dameon Pierce life. But right now, I'm not. Alexander Mattison, I think he's overrated. I am a Vikings fan. He was good his first couple of years as a backup. Not that great the last couple of years. Oh my God, I got Breece Hall twice. See, that's what happens when you do this kind of stuff, guys. Go with the first Breece Hall over Pierce and Madison. No, you know what? I need to delete that. I'm going to delete this on the fly. Boom! So Hall, below Madison, above Rachaad White. I think that's where I had this because there's so much mystery with Hall. I don't like putting him over Pierce and Madison. So here we go. Rachaad White, who I don't want anything of. Just go watch that Rachaad White short and players do not draft list. He was one of mine. DeAndre Swift is very intriguing to me. He has a ton of upside, just as much upside as really ETN. So that's why these guys are in the same category. And here we go. James Conner turned it up last year, so I have to put him there. 27, dude, Samaje Perine, I love. Javonte Williams came back. I watched all of it. He didn't look explosive, but dude, it was his first game back coming off of like an ACL, MCL. I like Samaje Perine more than Javonte Williams, so I'm reflecting that in these rankings. Jarrett McKinnon could be a huge steal. Isaiah Pacheco. Cam Akers, dude, turned it on last year, like 3 100-yard games to finish the season. Probably won some people some championships, but dude, I don't want that. I don't want that in my life either, dude. James Cook, my big turd James Cook. I said my last year's MVP. Dude, Latavius Murray is a real thing. I forgot to put him on. Oh, I did put him on here. I'm targeting Latavius Murray. He looks way more effective than James Cook right now. Totally different back. I wanted to love David Montgomery, dude, but I don't know. I'm going to have to wait to see it because I really like Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs reminds me so much of Frank Gore. So Charbonnet is tearing it up in the preseason. I can see you taking Charbonnet anywhere. I wouldn't blame you if you took him anywhere in this tier. Tyler Algier, that's the beginning of a tier that this is the very end. So it's in a tier of itself. Then Deuce Vaughn, who I love. It does scare me. I think he's more of a boom bust, like a smaller Barry Sanders. Like he was had zero. I think he had 0 yards on like 5 carries yesterday. Then he had his 14-yard touchdown. That's what his life is going to be like, dude. And then Latavius Murray, talked about him. And then lastly, Devon Achane. Shit, dude, I don't remember his name. Anyways, that motherfucker looked good, dude, when I was watching him and then he got carted off. But I was like, who's 28, man? Like, you see him like just like burst through that? It reminded me like Bijan Robinson for a second, like a smaller Bijan. Yeah, dude. So I think that's going to be a very big injury concern. And I could see Raheem Mostert. I should have probably put him up here. I totally forgot about Raheem Mostert. I'm back on the train with him after the last preseason game, but still. So that is the running backs. Let's go into the wide receivers. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase in a tier of their own. And I do have Kupp up here over Hill, which is really bothering me. When it comes down to it, if I do not know Kupp's health, I'm going to put him probably below in the tier of A.J. Brown and stuff. So I'm going to be taking that out. And you could almost make an argument that Hill belongs in the other tier, but he just doesn't have the consistency when he's healthy. Anyways, dude, Tyreek Hill, I do not mind taking like 4 overall. I see a lot of people taking him top 3 right now when I'm doing my mock drafts. I think that's kind of crazy. But still, Kupp, Hill, Jefferson, Chase, you can make a case for them to all be in the same thing. But, dude, just Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, and I just feel like they're so young and so talented. Like, they haven't even reached their ceiling. We know these 2 ceilings right here. A.J. Brown, I love. I do know that he had a lot of touchdowns, dude, but, like, man, he's with Devontae Smith. They've got that amazing offensive line. All I hear about Jalen Hurts is that he's improving even more. We got Stephon Diggs. We have, what's his name, dude? Devontae Adams, who I still believe in. He's probably going to make everybody look stupid and jump up to the next tier by the end of the year, especially when they have a really good backup, that Aiden Cole guy. So I was kind of like afraid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, what are we getting here? I'm tempted to put Adams up above Diggs, but I can't do that right now. Garrett Wilson, I think, is the end of a tier because that ceiling, all these people's ceilings, outreaches Amon-Ra St. Brown's ceiling. And that's who I have at the top, man. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he is amazing. But some people are having him like in top 3 and stuff, and I just do not see that. Right below him, dude, Ridley, we talked about him on our league winners. I think that he is, even in round 4 in a 12-man league, I think that he's going to be a value. Amari Cooper, I love. People forget how good Amari Cooper is. People forget how good Deshaun Watson, though, is. Everything, I hate him. Everybody does not like Deshaun Watson for specific reasons. But football-wise, dude, he is amazing. So he's probably going to get back to that. We got Metcalf, and then Keenan Allen, who I'm higher on than probably. I want to put him over Metcalf. They both have a ton of competition in targets, but still, dude, I am a big believer in the Chargers right now. But I just like the physical attributes of and younger and health and stuff of Metcalf. And I'm not as high on Olave as a lot of other people. I still think that Michael Thomas might be a problem here, who I totally forgot to rank, I think. Jalen Waddle after that. So I do have Olave over Waddle just because I see Olave having the chance to be the hyper-targeted wide receiver from Derek Carr. And Waddle is going to get a lot of targets, but he's not going to get like 15 targets due to game, just like Devontae Adams did last year. Carr likes to zero in on wide receivers and just keep on going, dude. Waddle, Devontae Smith, he could, 2 amazing number 2 wide receivers. Olave, I'm assuming, is number 1. That's why I have him ahead of that. Higgins, the number 2 wide receiver, and then Debo, I think, is a bust just because of, dude, there's just so many ways that offense can score, and he's just not going to be running that ball that much, dude. They've got a bunch of good running backs on that team, so I just see that his ceiling is not once what it was. Jerry Jeudy, I think that Jerry Jeudy has a chance to be really good, and not as good as Olave, Waddle, Smith, and all that stuff, but he has a chance to be in that category. And then how I feel about Drake London. So Jerry Jeudy was the top of another tier. So we have, Jamar Chase ending a tier. We have Tyreek Hill ending a tier. We've got Garrett Wilson ending a tier. We've got Keenan Allen ending a tier. Debo ending a tier. Now we're into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tier, which I like because it's got my man Drake London, my fantasy MVP. I look for this guy to make a huge jump, probably maybe into that Metcalf, Amari Cooper tier. So he's a chance to jump 2 tiers, and he has a real chance to do that. He has a slight chance to jump 3 tiers. All right, Deontay Johnson, dude. People forget about him. Super hyper targeted. People are picking like Pickens over him just for upside. Don't do it. We have DeAndre Hopkins, DJ Moore, dude. I am actually higher on DJ Moore now after watching him in the practices and preseason. Christian Kirk, people are forgetting on, dude. Pick Christian Kirk before George Pickens, man. Christian Kirk has a real chance to be a solid number 2 wide receiver for you. George Pickens, there we go. Christian Watson, I just have to put him in here, even though everything I hear from Steve Smith, see from practices, see from preseason, I'm not really down with that. I do not think he's going to be that great. Hollywood Brown has a chance, dude. Say you draft Hollywood Brown, he could win you a season in the second half of the year. Say Kyler Murray comes back, but I have to put him so far down here because even when he gets targeted and when Kyler Murray's not there, it's just not equating to many points. That's the end of a tier. Brandon Ayuk is the next of a top tier, or the top of the next tier for me. And I know a lot of people have him higher, but it's just so inconsistent for me. And it's like I know how that offense works, dude. It's just like Debo. It's like who's getting theirs is going to be. It's like there's like 4 different pass receivers that can get theirs, including the running back. So I have him ranked down that low. Terry McLaurin could surprise people. Pittman, if I'm just not getting Pittman at all. I love Anthony Richardson. I'm not getting any wide receivers. Apparently, he has a connection with Alec Pierce, but I don't even know what that means, dude, because I'm not really banking on. I love Anthony Richardson. He's one of my league winners, but I'm not really banking on him throwing a lot of yards and touchdowns. Lockett, people are forgetting about Lockett. You got to put him up here because there's a chance he's a top 15 wide receiver, just like he is every year. Godwin, people think that he's going to be great this year for Baker, but dude, I don't want anything of Baker, dude. I don't want anything of a defensive coach with Baker Mayfield as quarterback. Mike Williams, he's a cheap option for that Chargers offense if you want to go big, or you can go, Quentin Williams or whoever they drafted. He's doing pretty good in the preseason as well. Mike Evans, same thing as Godwin. I do not want. Sutton might be too low for me, but he burned my ass, dude, last year. I remember just saying, fuck Sutton. Oh, all of a sudden, I fucking hate Sutton. I hate Sutton, dude. No thanks. Jordan Addison, I'm the highest. Here comes my rookies, dude. And I might have to be pushing Zay Flowers up after watching this last preseason game. But I believe in Addison so much. He's going to have so many opportunities with Hawkinson and Jefferson. And I am a Vikings fan, so whatever. But, dude, Addison is amazing. Like Blitnikoff Award in Pitt. And then he went somewhere else and was their number 1 wide receiver. So, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba, he could just be a target hog. Zay Flowers he was my number 1 best wide receiver coming out of the draft. My comp was AB, and look at him, dude. He looks like Antonio Brown out there. And then Rashee Rice, give me a piece of that. I want to play that Mahomes lottery. Jahan Dotson, I just do not believe in Sam Howell, dude, watching that fool. OBJ, and then Jalen Hyatt, dude. Try to get you some Jalen Hyatt. Because there's a chance that fool is going to blow some shit up, man. Let's go to quarterbacks. Mahomes, number 1. Hurts, number 2. Allen, number 3. They're in a tier of their own. And then here we go. Burrow, he averages, he's just not as consistent. He has a bunch of peak games. He might get you 40 points. He might get you some low games too. Herbert has the chance to make the biggest jump. So here we go. This is the next tier. Burrow, Herbert, Lamar Jackson, dude. I've had Lamar Jackson a couple of years where he's averaging 30, 40 points a game, and then he goes down for the year. But still, he is not supposed to run that much. He might be throwing more, and look at the weapons he has now. Trevor Lawrence coming in after that. I have him over Justin Fields. People have Justin Fields way high, but dude, just give me the guaranteed stuff of Lawrence and Deshaun Watson I have over Lawrence. Dude, did you see Deshaun Watson's stats in preseason? He rushed the ball 4 times in a quarter, dude. So give me Deshaun Watson with the as much as they put into pass, receiving options and weapons and everything else. Dude, people were undervaluing the Browns. Give me some of that. And then here we go. That was the end of tier. Next tier, Tua. Tua has a chance to be a top 5 quarterback. Problem is he has to stay healthy all year. And Teron Armstead just went down. And I was a Tua owner last year when Teron Armstead went down. That's terrible. Jared Goff, criminally underrated. I have him over Rodgers, dude, because Rodgers' offensive line is god awful. I need to see it. Geno Smith, I probably should put above both those fools, but their offensive line, they lost that center, and I need to see that too. And then Cousins, dude. So here we go. Now we're not really in like, the dual threat quarterbacks, except for, we're not, that's the end of the dual threat quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins, he's got more weapons this year. He's probably going to have a good year, but I think just he's average. Anthony Richardson is a league winner, but he is one-dimensional. He's going to run the damn ball. Dak Prescott, I do not want the conservative offense with Mike McCarthy as a head coach. Russell Wilson, he has a chance to surprise people, but I'm not putting him over Cousins or AR-15 or Prescott. And Purdy, I have right after Wilson. I think that he can get you by. He was a top 15 quarterback like every single week that time. He has a chance to be a top 12 quarterback this year, and he's going super low. Daniel Jones, no thanks. All I hear is about the coaching over there, and he's got Jalen Hyatt, dude, and he's got Saquon Barkley. But god damn it, does that offensive line scare me? So I don't know, man. End of a tier. Next tier, Matthew Stafford. I need to see if he can throw the ball, dude. I don't even know if he can throw the ball more than 20 times a game. Need to see that. Derek Carr, I've got low too. Just because, man, that's such a conservative off. Dude, give me Jameis Winston back in that offense. Because when Jameis Winston wasn't in there, it was super conservative. And they just run the ball. Like, they don't even do a lot of screens and stuff, like clever things when Sean Payton used to be there. It's all like running Kamara up the gut and shit. It's terrible. Ryan Tannehill, dude, people forget about how good he is. And he has a chance to make a major bounce back season with DeAndre Hopkins. It does suck that Trey Burks went down. I was a big Trey Burks believer. Kenny Pickett, Jimmy Garoppolo. You're probably not going to get any of these guys. Pickett maybe. Mac Jones is probably going to rebound. Bryce Young, and then Love. I don't think Love is going to be bad as we thought, but still I have him way down there. Tight ends, Kelsey in a tier of his own. Mark Andrews. I actually put Hawkinson over Kittle this time, just because I'm going with targets, dude. I mean, then Goddard, dude. What? That's number 5. I think that's right where he should be. Ingram. Oh yeah, so Goddard is the top of a tier. Ingram, Waller's the end of a tier. We got Kyle Pitts. We got Njoku. We got Muth all in their own tier. Muth just got that touchdown, but you can't put him over Njoku or Pitts yet. You got Dalton Schultz. I don't want any of that Houston Texans team. Juwan Johnson has a chance to be in the Ingram tier, but I remember they got Foster Monroe or something like that. Moreau, I thought they did. Jason scared me for some reason of that tight end. Tyler Higbee, dude, like the most targeted tight end still. It's insane that he's going super low. Like if you're gonna get a super low tight end, get a hyper targeted one like that. Then Garrett, dude, Everett. I want to see what this tight end's going to look like. Do you remember what the offensive coordinator Kellen Moore used to use tight ends in that offense? Let's see if he brings it over to Everett. Laporta and Musgrave are my favorite rookie tight ends. That is it. Take a screenshot. Hopefully you can go through and look at all that. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I earned a thumbs up. Please do that. It helps us so much. Hopefully I earned a subscription. If you're not already subscribed, that'd be amazing. We need it. This is Tyler Big Turd Ward, and I appreciate you.